Hey guys, hey, we got the first mate here. I got my cup of coffee. Yeah, we got the brew kettle on. Bringing our mash water back up. That's the time. That's the sanitization receptacle. There's everything we got to make. And well, I gotta find my cans of pumpkin. This is basically the same recipe I made last year. We got 3 pounds of Breeze Golden Light, some Cara Amber, some 2-row, you know the deal. Excuse me. But we got we got 2 cans of pumpkin that are going to go into the mash with this one. I'm just going to do easy brew day. This might just be the very first grain to glass video I've ever done. I figure why keep doing these like every. I think I'm still the only YouTuber, brew tuber, as we're called, that still does like step by step. Step by step. Here's the brew day. Here's the bottling day. Here's the taste test. I'm gonna do my first ever grain to glass. So today is Saturday. I don't even know the date. It's a little before October. The weekend before October 1st. So yeah, that's Saturday. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do grain to glass. And so come along with us. I'm just gonna do an easy brew. So I'm just doing, I'll show you not the whole process, but whatever. And then then I'll bring you back, show the final gravity, and then after that will be the taste test. So this will be all in one. My first ever. All right, so let's get cracking. I'm waiting for this to come up to temp, and then we're going to start doing it. All right, so we're all doughed in. As you can see, there's the pumpkin. I'm going to try to mix it in a little bit better than this. So, and then we're going to let it rest for an hour, maybe a little bit more, because I had to run out and do some errands. So, I'm just going to leave this in the oven to process, So I think we're mixed in pretty good. Alright. Like everything else, the first mate dropped the ball and overshot the sparge water. Now we're sitting at 180. Alright, that's the color. You're going to swab the deck in about 2 seconds, buddy. Alright. So we got the, like I said, mash in. It did lose temperature. It was down to like 145, dropped 10 degrees. But this was probably like over an hour mash because I had to run out like I had said. So the pumpkin is all mashed in. So I'm probably going to get some residual sugars out of that pumpkin. I tend to sometimes. So we'll see what the final gravity is. But and I'm going to compare the notes to last year's brew, obviously. So there we go. That's the color. And then we're just bringing up the boil now, bringing up the mash out temp, and then I'm going to sparge. I don't know. I've never really gotten the logistics of. Oh, geez, now it's 190. Should have took the pot off the table. See, that's the thing. You leave the pot on the burner. Yeah, I think that sparge water is way too hot, so I'm gonna put a fan on and get these grains off before it starts to boil too. So I'll bring you back. Hectic. Oh boy. Oh boy, was that a trying mess? See, that's the one thing about adding any vegetable, to the mash. You're always going to get, the stuck sparge, But me and the first mate, we prevailed, didn't we, Hugo? It clogs up the grain bag, big time. So I gotta keep flipping it, and I'm trying to do that, holding that, just placed on top of this. I lost, not too much, but you lift the bag up here, you really need 2 people to do this. It's hard because you gotta lift it up, take your ladle, sparge over your bag, and it's started running down a little bit here, but whatever. We made it work. So, yeah, there's the spent grains with the pumpkin in there. We got our 2 hop additions. Both are Willamette. I got 2 ounces of Willamette. So we got one at 60 and then one at 20. I'm going to get them in this hop bag, and I'll just clip the hop bag to the thing here. Pot. That's the word. The thing, you know, the thing, the pot. Clip it to the pot, and then that way I can just open it up in 20, you know, when there's 20 minutes left on the boil, and then we have our, of course, our Irish moss and yeast nutrient. Now the yeast nutrient doesn't have to be boiled, I don't think. I just add it to at the end to the fermenter. All right, guys, that's where we're at. We're just waiting for the hop break, waiting for the boil, and I'll bring you back for the first hop edition. We have reached that moment of bliss where we have the hop break. I think I did say hop break, but hot break. Just gonna wait for this to subside a little bit. Almost there. As soon as these bubbles get down, we'll be there. Got that roll on boil. Okay. First hop edition. Here we go. Okay, we just added, we opened up the hop bag. I didn't show it, but I opened up the hop bag and I threw in the other ounce of Willamette at 20 minutes. All right, 20 minutes to go. At 15, we're going to do Irish moss, and then my homemade pumpkin spice with ginger, nutmeg, allspice, and, you know, all that. So about a teaspoon of that I'll throw in at the last 5 minutes, and then get the wort chiller in, cool it down. And of course, before I add the wort chiller, I'm going to add the dry malt extract, which with the steam coming up, I freaking hate it, because you know how it does. It starts caking up and coagulating inside the damn bag, and yeah, fun, good stuff. Not fun to work with. All right, so this year we used SO4. Last year we used Nottingham, I believe. So it's all sprinkled in there. We're ready to go. We're sitting at 20 Celsius. All right, so we got it nice and cooled down. I used ice cold water that was bottled in the fridge. What else? What else I gotta say? 1056 was the reading. 1056 was the reading. No, 1056 was last year's reading. This year was 1058. So we got a couple points higher, so I'm happy about that. We'll see but we're using a different yeast strain, so we got to see what we ferment out to. And you know, SO4 leaves some residual sweetness there. So, but I wanted to get away from, you know, I wanted to use the original recipe that the kit came with. I was gonna try maybe USO5, doing an American ale yeast, but whatever. We'll see how it comes out. And I'm not going to say it right, because this is grain to glass. I forgot about that. Alright, so we'll see you in 2 weeks. Well, hello, YouTube. There you go. The pumpkin ale is all fermented. Look at that action. That's so forward, too. Alright, and it fermented like super fast. That's the one thing about this English yeast, man. It likes to go super crazy and then boom, then done. It likes to get it all done, and that's it. So this fermented in like 3 days tops, and then it was just as still as that. So, all right. So first mate Hugo's got our hydrometer ready. I don't know if you could see that. Oh, she turned a little bit, but it was. I'm calling it at 1014. So 1058 to 1014, we're looking at 5.9%. That is a couple points higher than last year, so I'm happy about that. And I'm gonna get this in a glass. Look how clear that is. Nice color going on there. Yeah, I might just drink it out of there. Let's take a sample. All right, bottoms up. Really can't smell too much. Oh, that's nice. Sweet, a little malty backbone. Mmm, something there. I'm not sure if I'm picking up the spices. Like I said, the spices always ferment out. So if you're looking for to do a pumpkin ale, I guess it'd be easier if I had the keg, if I had a kegging system, because then I can add a little more spice to the keg when I'm filling it, you know, that type of thing. Just trying this out, it's awesome. Just a little bit of bitterness there. I think it's tasting a lot better, if I can recall. I think it tasted a lot better than last year, because I think I might have fermented a little too hot last year. You know, this year it got hot, of course, the day that I brewed, right? But I had the air cranked and everything, so it wasn't too hot in the house. And the closet wasn't that hot either. So, you know, it is something to say about, you know, higher, you know, because it's hard to do the temperatures with, you know, during the summer months. Because I like to sometimes get the pumpkin beer done early in September-ish. That way it's ready to drink like now in October. But hey, if I gotta wait a little bit longer, then I will, you know. But this is good. I'm tasting the pumpkin, I believe. It's subtle. It's there. I want to do. I've seen somebody. One recommendation was I had read or seen somewhere for doing pumpkin is maybe not adding it to the mash, but adding it, you know, after the boil. Like, you know, add it to the fermenter. And then you might get a little, you know, you'll get more pumpkin taste. The only thing is, I know that I'll lose a lot of beer because of the trub, you know, because all that pumpkin's going to be just at the bottom. So I'll probably only wind up with maybe 34 bottles of beer or something like that. I'll definitely lose beer because I've done that before, to where I just left it, never really strained it. I just had it into the boil. And I've added to the boil, I've added to, you know, done it all different ways throughout the years. So, all right, I know I'm getting long-winded, but, you know, so that's something to consider for next year. Maybe I'll just try to add it to the fermenter, because I know that Stony, what the heck's his name? Whatever, Stone, you know who you are, man, Stony, up in Buffalo. He always does the fruit beers and extract, you know, puts the fruit extracts and everything in his beer. So he's, you know, and he always, like I said, he always does it post-fermentation. You know, he sticks it in there right in the fermenter. So, well, we'll see. All right, guys, check back. Well, not check back. Again, this is my grain to glass video. So, yeah, we'll see you at the end of the video with the tasting. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and today is the day. 2 weeks in the bottle, so let's see where we're at. Ooh, nice pop. Now, like I said, this is just the 2-week mark, but we got some carbonation. I'm seeing bubbles, but as you saw, I did a vigorous pour because, like I said, we're right at the 2-week mark, and what I figured is happening. Real fast bubbles that are breaking up really quickly, so that head is not going to stay. Kind of like a soda pop when you're pouring it in. You got that carbonation, and then boom, it just dissipates, and that's what it's doing. It's disappearing. Smells so good. That's the color. Nice red, ruby red. I guess not ruby red, but orangey, you know, I guess from the pumpkin, I guess, but it was a red ale recipe. And I forget if my red ale, when I did it, you guys can check my videos if the red ale was similar to this. But cheers, guys. 2 weeks. Even though the head isn't sticking around, this is tasting better than last year's. Oh yeah, you taste the pumpkin, you taste that vegetable-y pumpkin, whatever pumpkin, you know, you think of. I can taste it in here. Some people say, you know, like Like I said, I've seen other guys do extract fruit beers and things like that. And like I said, they put it in with the fermentation. They don't put it to the boil or they don't put it to the mash. I always mash it because I like to get a little bit of the residual sugar out of that pumpkin, and it boosts up the ABV. Why not? So it mashes pretty well because I still taste it. It's not like I don't taste the pumpkin. And I believe the spice is there, but very subtle, like I said, because I don't re-add any more spices to the beer when I'm doing it, bottling it. You know, it'd be easier to do it if I had a keg. But bottling each individual bottle with spices, or even doing a tincture and sticking it in, I'm always afraid that something's going to happen, you know? So, thank you. I hope you enjoy this grain to glass. This is a win. I will hopefully be able to replicate this next year, but you know, every year it's always different, you know. Last year wasn't as good as this. It had more sugary, malty backbone. It had like a clinginess or something like it coated your tongue, and you're like, it was like almost like a dessert in a glass. It was too high on the ABV, I believe. Well, no, or that was the year before. I mean, I do it every year. So one of the years it was too high on the ABV. It had like that sherry note, like when you're getting up into that, you know, higher alcohol level, and it just starts getting like that candy, syrupy sweetness. Bugs are flying around me now, so I'm gonna finish this. So I hope you enjoyed this first grain glass. I know it's a long video, but hopefully you stayed to see the taste test, and it's a win, right, first mate? So we're gonna go enjoy this, and until we do it again, my friends, remember, let's set sail.